What are you doing in my home?
Horror games have been in steady decline recently. Most horror entertainment relies solely on jump scares just to startle the audience. Not necessarily scaring you, but a cheap way to inducing shock. It's very hard to get excited for anything horror nowadays.
Good lord, this game is just absolutely...
Even now in the gaming industry, it is more than just a meme to keep the horror franchise going than it is to make an actual good horror game. One example is the Garden of Banban, series so bad that people only watch it to see what the devs would do for the next game.
If someone donates $100, I'll sniff the feet. It's gotta be 100 because I'm not lowering myself to standards like.
Thankfully, there are some horror games that break through the mold and actually make quality experiences, such as Faith, Silent Hill 2 8-bit game with the hardest scene I have ever seen. Or Iron Lung, a game that's getting adapted to a movie produced by Markiplier.
In this void is as illusionary as the starlight.
So it seems like indie games have really captured the horror aspect in any AAA title. There is one game that encapsulated me that brought me out of my hibernation to make this video. Even mechanics that end up being terrifying. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Fear and Hunger. From the moment I entered the game, I was entranced by the music. The melody mixed with the knocking make me feel uneasy, almost like I'm not even supposed to be there. There are 4 playable characters in the game, each of them having their own unique background, reasons for coming to Fear and Hunger, and actual canon names. You have Kahara, the emo strawberry. D-Arc, the strong independent woman. Inky, that's just social repos.
You know, everyone did warn her.
And Radivulgar, a Giga chick. I chose the mercenary Kahara. More on why later. Yeah, this game has a lot of bad stuff that I'll be censoring out in this video. If you want to play the safe version but for streaming or just because you're a big crybaby, I'll leave a link in the description on how to install the mod that turns all the Johnsons to pine cones. There are 3 difficulty settings in this game. I recommend the first one for new players because this game is brutal. The second and third one makes enemies stronger with more HP. And there are areas in the game that a torch is a must, so if you run out of torches and crafting supplies to make some, you're pretty much fucked. You can choose to play the intro if you want to get some unique abilities to help you navigate through the Fear and Hunger dungeon, or you can be a complete and utter psychopath because you love grinding on Dark Souls 3. The moment I started playing the game, I have a brief rush of nostalgia from all the older games I used to watch on YouTube back in 2013. Games like Mad Father, a game about a dad who drank too much angry juice.
That's pretty bad. Sorry, Mr. Mannequin. Man.
Oi love, can you spare a quid for the bus?
Or The Crooked Man, about a guy who twisted his neck just a little too far.
Come here, girl. Hey, come here, girl.
Items in the game are randomly generated, so you could loot a box and get either a piece of dirt that has no use whatsoever, or you could be like this guy who gets a goddamn cursed iron mace on a speed run. Fucking dick. Heading to the left side of the dungeon will take you to what appears to be the tutorial area of the game. On the bottom left of the screen, it shows that your sanity is declining with every passing moment, as well as the hunger that's draining your strength. Personally, I kinda like this mechanic. It shows off that there's something outerworldly going on here, unlike other games that force you to eat every 10 minutes like a fucking caveman. The octopus enemies in this area don't nearly do as much damage as the enemies in the main area, so this is more of a tutorial combat. Each enemy have different limbs you can target, and cutting off enemies' legs will reveal an exclamation mark where the head is vulnerable. You are then greeted to the most important mechanic in the game, the coin flip.
What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
Sir?
The most you ever lost on a coin toss.
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything. Call it.
All right. Heads then.
Well done.
Search a specific place to initiate a coin flip that could get you a good item or nothing. Even some enemies initiate a coin flip where if you win, you dodge the attack. Crap. Crap. Please no. Okay. But if you lose, well... You don't even die, you just sit there with no legs and your butthole bleeding. On the regular difficulty, instead of you being, you know, you instead are thrown into a flesh pit with only your right arm. This game is brutal, and it either will kill you, fuck with you, or even both. Before I continue on, I'd just like to share some tips and tricks I've learned during my playthrough to kind of help out with new players in case they get stuck. The most common type of enemy you will find in the game are the prison guards. If you're not careful, the guards could chop off a limb and you'll have to progress to the rest of the game without it, or could kill you if you fail a coin flip. So how do you fight when it's almost impossible to not trade damage? Well, the guards have a simple trick to learn. During the start of the battle, it's always impervious to cut the arm holding the cleaver to prevent you or any of your party members from losing any limbs. On the second turn, the guard will initiate a coin flip. However, the coin flip can be avoided entirely by one simple trick: guarding. I know guarding in RPGs seems like a total waste considering the fact that there is a myriad of other options you can choose from. However, in Fear and Hunger, it is essential. After you guard the first coin flip, the guard will initiate another one 3 turns after, then the rest 3 turns after. After you follow these instructions clearly, the guards will never deal any damage to you. It is important that you only cut off the arm holding the cleaver and the guard's man part. After that, just follow the pattern of guarding and keep hitting his torso for an easy win. Elite guards are a totally different story. The elite guards are the problem because not only do they carry 2 weapons, but they have more health than the regular guards. There is another solution you can gain the advantage over them. If you find a random bear trap, set it on the ground and have them walk on it. This will cripple their legs, allowing you to get an easy headshot. You can also use a red vial you find in the dungeon and splash on the enemy's face to cause them blindness. However, they can still hit you, so only use it if necessary. Remember how I said that each character has a unique ability? Well, if you use a hexen stone and find some soul stones and put enemy souls into it, you can give yourself more abilities, like the mercenary's on guard ability that allows you to have a first strike at the beginning of the fight. You will always find the allies at the same spot during different playthroughs. The first one you can recruit is a little girl crying in a cage. Releasing her and she will immediately join your party. She has no weapons and only a black dress as an armor, so she can't do any damage at the start of the game. However, if you pick up a mock book on the first floor library and go to the second floor library and put the mock book on the left to reveal a secret passage, you will find Ragnarvalder on the side, but he won't join your party at the beginning. And to the side of the area is a tiny dagger that you can give to the little girl and she reacts with excitement. The dagger doesn't do too much damage, so I only use it to cripple enemies to get an easy headshot. There's also a cult on the side of the garden for you to do a certain act. Doing this will replenish you and your teammates' health. In the prison, you're going to find a lever. Pull it, then head to the blood pits and you will find an elevator that's been activated to progress through the dungeon. Heading down to the caverns, you should just proceed to the next area. I wouldn't explore around if I were you on your first playthrough. There's an NPC down here named Pocket Cat. Don't talk to him, unless you want to give away the little girl to him. He is not friendly. Across this bridge, I recruited my second ally, You can tell it's different not only because of its appearance, but it actually has a name. Moonless. Now Moonless is not like the same dogs you've seen in the beginning. It's more distorted and different. To recruit Moonless, you just have to use your skills and talk to it, and not attack it at all. And all you have to do is offer her rotten meat so she takes it and not attacks you. Do it twice and she will ask to join your party. Moonless seems to respect you to a certain degree. Or join your party. Moonless seems to understand you. Before you enter the mines, you are greeted with a message and a loud horn. This is one of the most dangerous enemies in the game now in your area. And the enemy is the Crow Mauler. The Crow Mauler is one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, so only fight him when you are fully prepared, and even still, exercise extreme caution. I'll let you guys discover the rest about him yourselves. Past the mines, you will come across a village with a lot of blue people in it. Where's that? Oh yeah. It's funny as well. You have to come in here. Like, that's the thing. You have to come in here to get the rope over here. You're gonna need this rope to tie on a pole to descend down the hole. Heh, that rhymes. Next time you're gonna need is the... Oh. Yeah. I got jumped by a night lurch and now my butthole is bleeding. It doesn't even damage me at all, it's just a nuisance. You have to take the Cube of the Depths in order to progress through the game. Once you do so, the villagers will become hostile towards you. Until they're not? On the right side next to the night lurch is a mini boss that you can face. This boss is the salmon snake.
What the hell is even that?
Once defeating the salmon snake, it will drop a stone crown. Pretty good defense, and I had no idea that the crown is worshipped by the blue people. It's pointing the finger up, making a motion with her mouth. Yes. What? Yeah, did I forgot to tell you that this game was fucked? Now that all that's out of the way, time to save Lagarde. You know, the guy we were sent here to save. You should be right in this, Yeah, if you take too long, you're just gonna find him dead. With the whole reason that you came to this dungeon now kinda swept away from you. If you do manage to get to him in time, which is around, I believe, like 30 minutes in game, you can actually have him recruited in your party. Or because I was looking for another ending in this game that I never gotten before. You could just leave the dungeon now, or you could use that Cube of the Depths that you got and head even deeper into the dungeon to find out what else is going on. Okay, ancient doors stand opposing here, even if they seem age-old. The markings on the ground suggest that they have been used rather regularly, even during modern times. Open the door. The Cube of the Depths seems to react to the doorway. You feel a pulse coming from you. And now, you're in the ancient city Tomb of the Gods. About now, I'm going to start glossing over a couple of stuff because I want to get this out before Halloween, so bear with me, please. Past the Tomb of the Gods, you are now entering the Mojave, which is an ancient city created by the gods. I've never heard about this place, but the architecture suggests this place is ancient. These patterns on the walls, tingling on the pavement, is typically used which buildings relate to older times and older gods. But there is something very different about them, like the patterns we've seen everywhere, almost lost in translation. Like they were cheap copies of the real thing. The main objective in the ancient city is pretty simple really. All you have to do is use the cube to turn the ancient city to the past, and then once you do that, fight 3 of the new gods, collect their souls to open the door to fight the final boss. Pretty simple, right? The first boss I fought is Valak, the enlightened one. You can find him in the Grand Library after solving this mannequin puzzle. The mannequin puzzle never changes, so if you just remember exactly how they are, then you can fight Valak with no worry. Valak's boss is pretty easy. All you have to do is destroy his brain, and it kind of renders him powerless. Watch out for his weird third eye thing. I don't know exactly what it does, and I don't much want to ever find out.
Sleep like a dickhead. Dickhead.
You You can also talk to him to answer questions about the lore of the game. If you get it right, then his whole body takes damage.
Who's the torment? Fuck, I forgot his name.
The second soul I got is Nilvan, with the Endless Soul. With her, you just have to go up to this tower and sleep in the bed during the past. If you sleep during the present, it's a free save. But if you sleep during the past, you get teleported.
Here. As you fall asleep, restless dreams take over your consciousness. Feverish dreams make you twist and turn your bed as you fall deeper and deeper.
This is the dream state. Here, you can explore around to learn about the character's backstory and their motivation. My character Kahara, you can find his backstory in this red light building, an establishment that provides, services. My character wants to collect the silver to provide for his wife and his child that's coming soon. Do you guys remember Pocket Cat? Enki lost all joy in life and wanted to be sacrificed, until he was called from a higher being to ascend.
I'm ready, Ulmer. These visions. I see. I understand. Let me down from here.
Leaving Rodan, you'll be continuing the dream state where you'll also see Radivulgar's past with his family all being killed.
What is this? Uwe, are you still alive? Radivulgar, you came. They came while you were gone. Those knights. Who were they? Knights of the Midnight Sun. Knights of the Midnight Sun? The pretty man with the locks of the fair maiden. The captain. He wanted the what we brought from the Vinland. I think I'm going to sleep now. Uwe, rest in peace. Hildenburen.
Then you have to follow the blood trail to get to a cabin. And now I must warn you, this is one of the most hardest boss fights I have ever faced. So, be prepared.
Yep. You hear that? This can't be. Unforgivable. Unforgivable. Jesus Christ, I'm ruining every moment with my ass just spraying. You ready?
Yeah, the skin granny relies on bleed damage, so always be prepared with health potions and also bandages to make sure that you do not, die from blood loss. What's really cool about this fight is that if you lose the coin flip, she not only kills you, she rips your face off and puts it over her face. After defeating the Skin Granny, you are treated to a backstory of both Lagard and D-Arc. You find out that Lagard doesn't want to be king, but instead wants to ascend to a higher being to stop all wars and create true peace. There's an ancient prophecy talking about his upbringing, and that he is considered the chosen one.
Pure. I need to ascend above the kings and queens of our time. The last step isn't shrouded in mist. It's waiting in the depths of darkness.
After that, Nilvan will appear in front of you. She will then speak to you that she will give you her endless soul under one condition.
New one. Girl seems nervous around the new god.
She'll take a brief moment to look at the little girl if she's in your party. She will only ask that you take the little girl down to the very depths of the dungeon.
We need more. We need someone equal in size and stature to them. Rubs her slightly swollen belly. Please, I ask you, get my child out of here. Take her to the heart of the darkness.
This was the ending I never got, so I agreed and got her endless soul. You can still agree and not take the little girl lower.
Thank you. This is girl one last glaze. The girl backs away behind you.
I skipped the Tormented One boss fight because his is a little bit long. What you have to do is fall down a hole in the present. You can find out which hole to jump down in by throwing a stone down into it and seeing if it lands close. Create a clone of yourself, travel back to the past, head to the Temple of Torment and torture your clone enough to rip their skin off, and then fight the main boss at the entrance of the temple. This fight is, it's alright. What you have to do in the second phase is destroy the 3 rings first and then attack him in the middle. The 3 rings will recover, so all you have to do is destroy it again and then hit him again in the middle. Once you have all 3 souls, talk to the statue guy in the middle of the city and then fight him to get past to the door.
There we go, finally.
This is Francois, the final boss of the game. He gives you the key to go through the door in the past to fight him. He even tells you how to beat him.
And you will get what you were after. King's bastard. Kill him. If you can, that is. Hahaha. Puppets, what are you talking about? Where's the fun in me explaining everything? It took me numerous life cycles to understand the greater schemes of things. Let me at least enjoy my ignorance. It's one of the last pleasures I got left.
In the Throne of Ascension in the present, you will see a giant purple blob thing. This purple blob is the most important thing to delve deeper into the dungeon and get a different ending. There is a total of 3 blobs you need to cut open to delve deeper into the dungeon. There's one in the tree on the side passage, there's one where Lagarde is being held at, and then the last one is at the Throne of Ascension in the present. One last thing in the ancient city, if you go to the side over here, right next to the Grand Library, you'll be entering into a room that says that you're at peace in there. Interact with the book to get something strange. This is the Grand Hall, where the new gods will answer your questions. You can ask them any question lore-wise about you, the other characters, or even the place that you are at. You can use the Fear and Hunger fandom wiki to learn about how to ask the questions you want to ask. And you only get 3 questions, and if you type it wrong, they just won't understand and then you'll just miss out on a question. I wanted to learn a bit more lore about the girl. A pure being in which both strength of the new gods and the seed of man from the prophecies come together. Never in written history has there been a similar situation. It is truly exciting, isn't it? We can expect great things from her. So it seems that the girl is playing a major role in this game. Next one I learned to learn more about is Nosarasmus, the supposed 5th god, or the Forgotten One. He was part of the fellowship that consisted of 4 of the current new gods. He supposedly understood the true nature of the greater scheme and thus refused his ascension. He is since forgotten in our eyes and must be left in the darkness for the time he will rot. Nosarasmus is this white-haired person that you can find in the mines. You can properly talk to them, but you're going to have to fight this coffin knight in order to get a proper conversation with Nosarasmus. And Nosarasmus is a vital part in Enki's S-rank ending. The last question I wanted to ask the new gods is about Lagarde, the person we came to this dungeon for. The Prophet One. Already, while still alive, there were many tales written and sung about his tale. We don't know where the prophecy got started, but needless to say, it is all fallacy. But the man himself is a curious kind. There is definitely something different about him, and whether a part might be a grander scheme of things, or at very least started something larger. You then get a book that lets you save the game anywhere you want. Once you cut all 3 blobs, head back to where you found the Cube of the Depths, go up to the top, and you'll find that the mouth of the old god of the depths has been open. Let me preface this to you before you enter. This is the hardest part of the game, and it nearly broke me. Once you enter here, the door will close right behind you, and there's no going back.
Oh god.
This horrid music, the beating of the drums, the cries that sounds like screams from the damned. The music here is horrible. This place is alive and wants you dead. Enemies in here are nothing like you've ever faced before. Enemies are more stronger and more deadly. Gnats that drain you and your party's health every time you step on them. Guillotines that instantly kill you if you walk at the wrong time. Spikes that pop out of the ground that causes severe bleeding. Even an upgraded version of the Crow Mauler is here with 2 heads instead of 1. Poisonous gas. Even stronger yellow mages that if you take too long to defeat them, it will tear off your limbs. More gas, more gnats, giant balls that will crush you. This place is a nightmare, and the only way to stop it is to reach to the end. But finally reaching to level 9, you have reached to the end of the gauntlet. Your last trial is to walk on the mountain of corpses. Your team is just barely alive, barely scraping by for whatever you have. Bringing the girl here, you finally get your reward.
The girl is looking at the darkness. Can't see anything in there. Careful, don't be so close to the edge. The girl gives you a reassuring smile. Something's happening, something that exceeds your understanding. A chill runs down your spine, and you feel like throwing up, but the girl seems to remain awfully calm. In fact, the source of the terrier seems to radiate from her.
Your reward is to fight the girl. The girl is in agony, and the only way to help her is by killing her. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but a 5-phase boss fight. Each phase even more deadlier than the last. The girl starts to reminisce about the gifts you've given her. If you've given her the peculiar doll you found in the prison and the dagger that you found in the courtyard, she will give you 2 free turns without attacking you. The exclamation marks near your party's name indicating that everyone is afraid of her. Each phase her body becomes more grotesque. You want to help her, but how could you? And then her final phase, the new god of fear and hunger, is born. This phase doesn't outright attack you. It self-mutilates itself and then grants a coin flip attack.
Oh god glances at you. Tails never fails.
But after all that struggle, you finally beat it.
Victorious. The god of fear and hunger acknowledges your suffering. Level 10, the bottom.
Why be with this? The thought must have crossed your mind at some point. The thought that you delved too deep. The thought that this would be a one-way trip. So instead of finding the inevitable, why not embrace it? Just lay down and rest. There is beauty in this darkness that can be harnessed and used to usher something new.
That is the best, worst ending ever. Your only reward is to die in the darkness. This grotesque, story-rich nightmare is an art. I go as so far as to say that this game is a masterpiece.
One that is not a mere new god, but one that rivals the older ones. Yet the first-hand experience of witnessing the coming paradigm shift that the world would grow into the new era, an era of a newborn god, the god of fear and hunger. There'll come this day as a cruel age, an age where a human-born god would finally rise after millennials of mankind struggling as a feeble new god. Maybe your fate as an act of mercy? The last traces of compassion of a newborn god shed after her true ascension. Your demise was peaceful after all. And the god of fear and hunger.
This game has multiple endings, and I cannot stress enough that you must play this game. The greatest RPG horror I have ever played.
So, in that ending, the girl had a bigger scheme. It was in the bigger grand scheme of things. And I took her to the bottom to be rebirthed as a god. There's so much lore unpacked here, and many videos can do it way better than I ever can. This is just more of just my kind of resound and everything. This game is probably one of my top 3 favorite video games of all time. This just has a deep storytelling that other games you just can't really get. The atmosphere, the whole everything. It was great. And like I said, there's so much other things I didn't know. Like I didn't know the stone crown. Those blue guys worship it. I just thought it was just a cool ass crown. I did not have no idea they worship it. I mean, still, that's like the first ever time I got that ending. I've at least heard about, what you need to do. I recorded for 5 hours now. On that, I'm looking at my OBS. It's 5 hours I played this game. It was breathtaking, and it's not even. This is only the first one. He released a second one like a couple of years ago or so, and that has like more storytelling and everything. I never played it. I would like to know if you guys want me to play it, because this one blew me away. It was great. Thanks for everyone to support the development of the game past 2 years. There are too many names that deserve to mention here that I would surely forget some important ones. Let's just not mention everyone. A perfect solution? No, but really, thank you everyone. The game wouldn't exist without you. Based on fan art made by... So, go show some support. Or play this game for yourself. Let me know what ending you get. And there's also a special thing at the very end, which I know beforehand because I've beaten this game before, but not at that ending. But wow, to play Dungeon Knights, enter your name as Schoolboy's movement.
Changing your name to Schoolboy, Schoolgirl, or Schoolkid will unlock the difficulty Dungeon Knights, which turns your scary RPG into a dating sim. So yeah, enjoy.